Based on the concept of head-to-tail vector addition, what would it mean to multiply a vector by 2? What about other numbers? Well, something to recognize is anytime you multiply by 2, it's really equivalent to just adding whatever number you're multiplying that by that to itself. In other words, like if I say, hey, I'm going to take the number 4 times 2, we all know that that's equal to 8, but really that's the same as saying 4 plus 4. So that's going to help me kind of reason as to how I might be able to do this with vectors. So if I start out with a particular vector, let's say I've got a vector like this one right here, and I want to add it to itself. So I'm going to do that by head to tail, and I think the way I'm going to do that here is I'm going to take that vector here and copy it, and then paste that vector. Oops, it wound up way up there. And I'm going to take that same vector and add it to itself by placing it in kind of a head to tail fashion. I don't know exactly where it is there. And there it is. And so I could claim this is really this vector multiplied by 2, following kind of the idea that multiplication is like repeated addition. So what would I do? What about other numbers, right? If it was like if I did 4 times 3, wouldn't that be the same as 4 plus 4 plus 4? In other words, you're just repeatedly adding 3 times. So if I had this vector, instead I'm multiplying a vector by the number 3, I would just repeat that vector head to tail 3 times. So what does that really mean? When I multiply a vector by 2, its magnitude doubles. The resultant vector is really just the same direction, but double the magnitude. If I multiplied by 3, it would triple the magnitude. So basically, if I have any vector and I multiply by a number, I'm just going to multiply the magnitude of that vector by whatever that number is. And it turns out that holds for all numbers, not just integer or counting numbers like 2, 3, 4, etc. It could also be like, what if I multiply by pi? Or what if I multiply by 2.5? I would just multiply the magnitude of the vector by that same number. Let's see how that aligns with the answer here. It says multiplying by 2 should be the same as adding the vector to itself, which just doubles its length. Multiplying by a different number just multiplies the length of the vector by that number without changing direction. So that's the key thing here, is if you multiply by a number, whatever result you get will still be a vector pointing in the same direction as the original vector you started with.